Hello, everyone. Welcome to our workshop today. We are so excited to share with you one of our favorite new activity kits that has just launched at Michael's, and this is Build Your Own Treehouse. Look at how fun. We are so excited to have you here with us this Friday afternoon. I assume a lot of you are starting summer break. This is a great way to kick off the summer with a fun activity. So Meredith, if you want to take it away, and friends, if you have questions, put them in the Q&A and we'll be happy to help out. Enjoy.
Thank you, Jennifer. I'm so happy to be here with all of you. And like Jennifer said, we're working on this brand new kit, Build and Grow Treehouse by Creativity for Kids. And this, I'm very carefully lifting it up to show you. This is what we'll be making today. So it's totally 3D. There's a lot of play and creating involved in this, as well as growing. So let's put this down and we'll open up the box and get started. All right, here we go. So just to show you, this is our box. So Build and Grow Treehouse. And like Jennifer said, you can get it at Michael's. Okay. And here we go. Okay. So we have these wonderful stickers. They're epoxy stickers, so they kind of stick out a little bit. Our chia seeds. Ooh, our plastic pipette. We'll get to what all of these things are used for later. These are our trays and our little grow mats. Some fun decorations for our tree house. Ooh, our handy dandy instructions. We'll need those right over here. All of the pieces and parts to our tree house. Some blue string, a little sponge, our paint and our paintbrush. And these are watercolor paints. Here we go. And then some greenery, lots of greenery. And our sweet little animal friends. So we have a turtle, an owl, a frog, a hamster, and a little hedgehog, I believe. Yay, our cute little friends who all visit this sweet little tree house. Okay, so there is a lot involved in this, so we're going to jump right in. Now, for those of you who do have this kit, you will need some water and some paper towels because we will be using some watercolor paints. All right, so Build and Grow Treehouse. We want to cover our work surface, just like I said, because we're going to be painting our little wooden pieces. Clean up spills immediately. If you spill your water, just wipe it off with a cloth. Rinse your paintbrush and sponge after you change or before you change colors. So all of those are instructions that you have probably heard before. Okay, so first things first, you are going to want to prepare your grow mats. And the grow mats are the little plastic trays with a little brown, it looks like a mat. So I'll show you here. So these are our little trays, cute little plastic trays, and these are the grow mats. So I've already trimmed mine down, but yours will probably be in the shape of a square. So you'll just want to cut off each corner and press it down into the tray. And you get 3 of them. So you'll want to do that for all 3. All right, so next thing you'll want to get your little pipette. So how this works is if you squeeze the end of it and put it in water, it sucks up the water. So you can see here, I sucked up some water. And we're going to add all of that water into the tray. And you'll want to fill up the tray about halfway with water. Now what's going to happen is the grow mat is going to absorb that water. And why that's important is because the seeds that we're using, they start growing on moist surfaces. So we want to get our grow mat nice and wet, so our little seeds know that it's time to start growing. So we'll put those in there. Actually, I should have put the water in before this one. There we go. So fill those trays up about halfway and then put your little grow mat in. And you'll see them starting to absorb the water. All right. Now you'll want to let them sit for about 15 minutes. So we're going to put them over to the side out of the way. I'm going to add just a little bit more. 2 of them just didn't look wet enough. Okay, so, all right. So after about 15 minutes, we'll come back to that. And we will need our chia seeds at that time. So we'll just put those over here. Okay, so now is the time we get to start painting. We'll put our little guys up here too. Out of the way until it's time to play. So you can put a paper towel down, or if you have a placemat, anything to protect your surface that you're painting on. Even like old newspaper. All right, so what we're pulling out, this is the base piece. This is the piece that everything is going to be put into. So you can see it's labeled. This here is the back, and this here is the front. Now that's going to be important for the next steps. But first we're going to paint the base, and you can paint it however you want, but I'm going to paint mine green so it looks like it's grass. All right, so to quickly paint large areas, instead of using our brush, we're going to use the sponge. So what we're going to do is get some water on our sponge. And we're going to dip it into the green and kind of get that green nice and wet. Let's see if I can zoom in a little bit more here. So you can see we're getting the sponge nice and saturated with our green paint. And then you just start painting right on your base. And the more water you use, the lighter the color will be. So if you don't put that much water, you'll get a darker color. But if you put a lot of water, then you'll get a lighter color.
Meredith, could you bring the piece a little further up?
There you go. Sorry about that. Yeah, I zoomed in and I didn't realize I zoomed in a little too close.
All good. Thanks.
Thank you. There we go. And when you're done painting the base, if you're painting it green, you might want to go back in and add little details, like maybe you want to add some flowers in there. So then you could use your paints and paint some flowers in. Or if you wanted some areas that are a little bit darker green, you could go back in with the green and just go right over the areas that you'd like darker. Okay, so to rinse out our sponge, just dip it in the water and squeeze it. And that should help rinse out the green. Now it won't go back to being completely yellow, but that's okay as long as you get most of the green color out. Okay. All right. So now we want to do the same for our branches. I think I will zoom out a little bit. Ooh, that's in. Here we go. So we're going to put our base aside to dry. And our branches look like this. So this is the tree trunk. And then the branches come out like that. So you can leave the tree trunk and the branches natural because it does have this awesome wood grain on it. Or you could paint those too. So just like we did with the base, you can use your sponge and you can gather some brown or some ochre, which is kind of like a yellow color. Or even white if you wanted your tree to look like a birch tree. So it's up to you as to how you'd like to paint it. And I think in the past, I have painted the entire thing brown, but I think this time I'm going to use my brush and just add some detail, like little knots of a tree. So I'm going to gather some brown like this. And then just create a little knot, which is where maybe our owl lives. And I do that just by creating a little bit of a swirl like that. I'll do it again a little slower so you can see how I did it. So you just start in the center and you go out and around like that. So that's a knot. And to make it look like it's part of the tree, we're going to add a little more detail around it. Just some lines that kind of go along with how tree bark might look. Just like that. And you're just following the curves of the knot. And then you can go up into the limbs a little bit or down into the base of the tree where the roots are. So you can decorate it however you'd like, but it's pretty easy. Just creating some wiggly lines to represent bark on your tree. And it also provides the idea of little houses or little areas that little animals can stay in. Just like that. All right. Now, since this is a 3D treehouse, you'll want to flip it over and you can do the same on this side. So I'll do one big knot here, or I guess a medium-sized knot. And then the rest, I'm going to just make it look like some cool tree bark. And really the best way to understand what tree bark looks like is to go outside and take a look. Oftentimes artists are inspired by nature. And I would say this little art and craft kit is definitely inspired by nature. So Jennifer, I'm wondering, have you ever been in a tree house, or did you have a tree house when you were growing up?
I didn't have a tree house, but I had a place that kind of looked like a tree house. Tree houses are so fun. What about you?
No, we never had a tree house, but we did have a piece of wood that was stuck up in the branches of a tree that was like a tree platform. So it's kind of not the same, but it was still fun. All right, and you'll notice up here, there's some leaf shapes. So let's rinse out our brush from the brown and we'll gather our green because these leaves are summertime leaves. And in Ohio, the summertime leaves are mostly green. So I'm painting them green. There you go. And over here as well. And again, we'll want to do the same on the other side. And here, I need some more water. So when you're using watercolor paints, you'll know that you need to add more water to the paint if you put your brush in the little area where the paint is and it feels sticky. If it feels too sticky, then you know you need to dip your brush in the water and add a little bit more paint. All right, so we have half of our tree for our tree house done. So we'll put that aside to dry. And we'll do the other side right now. And again, wash, oh, well, since we have green on our brush already, let's go ahead and do the leaves first. Now I should point out these pieces, the piece that I just painted and this piece are different. They're different shapes. So you'll want to be aware of that when we're assembling our tree house. And I'll point that out when we do put it into the base. So I'm curious, how many of our friends out there have this kit and are following along with our painting? If you have this kit and you're following along with our painting, please type in and let Jennifer know so she can tell me.
You can tell us in the Q&A.
And I have another question. Have any of you ever played in a treehouse before?
So we have a couple friends, a lot of friends actually that have the kit with them right now. We're so excited to hear you guys are doing this with us.
Yay! That's outstanding. I'm so happy to hear that. That means I get to play with you guys. We're all painting together. How fun. So I can't wait to see if you guys are doing this too. I would love to see what yours look like when you're all done. So if you have someone who has social media and is able to take a picture and share it with us online, that would be so cool. So I think on our Facebook page, we have a picture of our finished sample that will probably look a little bit different than this one because everybody makes their tree houses a little bit different. So here's one side and we'll do up the other side here. Whoop. Creating little wiggly lines to represent bark is really fun. Now, for all of you friends out there who do not have this kit, there are ways you can create your own treehouse too. So you can use any kind of like a container, like one of those, like you could use a box or you could use like an oatmeal container. And then you could paint the top part of a tree on it and the bottom part of a tree. And then you could like cut it out and configure your own little tree house within your little box or within your little oatmeal container. So this one is unique because it has all these cut out pieces. All right, we're going to put this one aside to dry, and we're almost done with our pieces for our tree house. So these three pieces actually hold our little trays that grow our chia. So when it's time, we're actually going to place the chia trays into these branches. They fit just perfectly. But first we're going to paint them up, give them a little greenery on here, some green leaves. You could, if it's autumn, you could also make your leaves orange and yellow or brown and red. Or if this is a magical tree house, you could use whatever color paint you have around the house. Maybe you have purple or pink or blue. You can make your leaves whatever color you want. There we go. 1 and 2 and 3. So what's really fun about watercolor, using watercolor on these wooden pieces, is that it absorbs so quickly. So you don't have to wait very long for it to dry. And our last one here. Okay. All right, so what we're going to do next. So once the base is dry, you can make a sealer to help protect it from water drops. So if you want to seal your base and your tree, you can use a little bit of glue and add some water to it, and then paint that over everything you just painted. And that will seal it, it will protect it, just in case you were to drip water on it. But we're not going to do that right now. So time to build. Okay, we'll put our paint away for a second here. Assemble and glue. So we're going to assemble the tree onto the base. So here's our base. And as I pointed out, it says back and it says front. So we're going to put it down just like that. Now we're going to use, let's see here, this piece here that only has one of the tree limbs coming out of the back. And we're going to put this slot down here. We're going to slide it right into our base. And let's get a front facing of that just so everyone can see. Okay, so what we just did, we put the base or the little slot of the tree into the base. So it looks like this. Okay.
Looks
We'll
beautiful.
Looks good. Yeah, it does. Okay, so the next thing, this piece here has a slot right in the center, and we're going to slide that into the center of the piece that we just put into the base. All right, let's do that front facing shot again. Okay, and this is how it should look. So you have this area up front here where the tree house is actually going to sit. And then you have the 3 limbs that come out around it. All right, so we'll put it down again, just like how we had it with the back up here and the front down here. Okay, so to keep our tree stable, what you can do, and you're given glue, you can glue it all together. But since we're moving quite quickly on our class here, I'm not going to take the time to glue it, but you can glue all of the areas that the wood meets. So I do recommend doing that. Okay, so the next piece is this platform looking piece. And this piece is where our little tree house is going to sit. So we're going to put this on the tree. And you can see these slots, they slide right. How do they slide in? I think they slide in just like this. Ta-da! So now we have a little platform for our tree house. Now we're going to put the branches with the leaves, the 3 branches with the leaves on. So just like the other pieces, there's a little slot in here, and it just slides right onto the other part of the tree. And again, everywhere these pieces of wood meet, you can add a little bit of glue, and that will keep them in place, just like that. All right, so now's the time to decorate our tree branches with our greenery. And before we do that though, it looks like our mats are nice and saturated. So now's the time that you want to get your chia seeds out. And we're just going to sprinkle a couple of them onto the grow mat. So you'll have quite a few left over. And once the chia grows and it gets nice and green and it looks all fun and like an actual tree for your tree house, once it's done growing, you can always clean off the grow mat. And just put that right up here so you can see. Just sprinkle a couple on. Let's see if you can see that. Here we go. So if you sprinkle a couple on, you'll have quite a few left over. So you can continue to grow chia in your little grow mats for the next time you want to play and watch your treehouse grow its leaves. And again, if you put too many seeds on, they might not grow very well. You just kind of want to put one even layer of seeds on it. You don't really want to bunch them up, or else they don't grow very well if you bunch them up too much. So we have our seeds on our little grow mats. And I'm going to refer to the first page because I think what we need to do is add a little bit more water. So we put our seeds on, we save the rest to replant later, and now we're going to just grab a little bit of water and squirt it around over our seeds, just like that. Here we go. Okay, so we'll put these aside. They are all set. We don't have to do anything more for those. Oops, and they will start to grow within a couple days. It's very exciting to watch them. Okay. So to put our greenery in, I think it might be helpful. I'm going to just take out the little branch that we had already put in just to show you. So there's a flat part of this greenery, and that flat part can slide right into the area of the branch. And actually, I'm going to do it so the leaves are facing outward, just like that. And it's really nice because these pieces of leaves are already cut, so you don't have to even do anything. All you have to do is slide them right in, just like that. So it doesn't take long to have a very full tree. So I can think of lots of little kiddos who would love having their own tree house. And if you can't have a giant sized tree house that's in an actual tree in your yard, I think this is a wonderful option. And it comes with little forest woodland friends to play in your tree house. There you go. And don't forget to put some in the branches that are part of the tree base. So you're given quite a few of them, so you can put them wherever you want. Slide them right in. Couple more. Okay, and when you're not growing your chia, you can always put these inside the trays. So you can hold on to these for later. All right, let's see what's next. Attach the branches and the leaves. Okay, we did that. Now it's time to gather the parts to create our actual tree house. And then chairs, the table, the telescope, the tire swing, the bike. There are a lot of little adorable pieces that you can add to your tree house. There's pizza, a guitar, a mailbox, the fence. And then to decorate, you're given all of these wonderful little cardstock and sticker pieces. So at least, I don't know if we'll have time for all of this, but we're at least going to put together our tree house. All right, so we'll put our actual tree out of the way. And okay. What we'll need we'll need 2 pieces that are labeled roof. So here's one. And here's the other. Those 2 pieces are labeled roof. Then in this bag here, this bag has the actual roof. So we're going to get that out too. Okay. And we'll put those pieces of cardstock over here. Now it seems my glue has fallen down. I will be right back. Okay. So we're going to fold the roof in half and then open it up and turn it over. So we're going to fold the roof in half, open it back up, and flip it over. Now we're going to add a thin layer of glue and then put the roof pieces on it. So get our glue. And you can kind of just squiggle the glue around it. Oops, came up kind of fast. So just kind of spread it around, and you can use the tip of the glue to kind of spread it. And just like in the picture in the instructions, you're not actually going to have the 2 pieces of the roof touch one another. You're going to allow a little bit of space in between the pieces of wood. So that way, when it folds, the pieces of wood won't be in the way of it folding. There we go. Set that aside to dry. Now we need to make the tree house walls. So we're going to look for pieces that look like there's windows, like this one. And you can see the side that has the lines on it that look like the side of a house. That's the outside. And this is the inside. So we're going to lay it down with the outside facing up. And here's our other piece of our wall. And there should be one more. Here it is. Okay. So just like I've laid it out here, we're going to put it together so the slots slide in the other slots. So with the big piece in your hand, you're going to take the smaller piece and slide it right in, just like that. Here's an overhead view. And then this one, just do the same. So you can see we're creating a treehouse. Now for this, it kind of is important that you do glue it. So everywhere that the wood has slid together, you're going to just add a bit of glue. And this glue, it dries kind of quickly. You do need to let it sit until it dries all the way. But for right now, we're just gonna add some and move on to the next step while it dries. Okay, so those areas are drying. You're gonna also need to put glue on the top area of the walls that we just put together. So this will hold the roof on. So just add glue to make our treehouse nice and sturdy. We don't want it to fall apart if the wind blows and makes the branches move. So put enough glue on there that it's going to hold the roof on like that. I'm going to clean off the tip. I'll hold it up so you can see a little bit better. So I put all of that glue on there. Now we're going to take our roof and kind of bend it a little bit so it goes right onto, you can just hold it onto the actual treehouse walls that we just created, like that. So we're going to set that aside so it has some time to dry. Just like that. Cute. All right, so next we can take a look at some other items that we can make. So I'm asking my friends out there, what should we include next? Do you want to make chairs and a table? Or would you like to make the telescope and the tire swing? So let me know, if you don't mind typing in to Jennifer your vote to do chairs and a table or the telescope and the tire swing. So once I hear from you, I'll know which one we're going to do next.
All right, we have all three: chairs and table, telescope, and swing. So we need a tiebreaker. Oh, here's another telescope from Jackie.
All right, telescope.
Yeah.
Telescope it is. Okay, so we have to look for the piece inside our kit that looks like this. This is part of the telescope here. So this is the actual telescope part, and then there are two other little pieces that create the stand for the telescope. So let's see if we can locate those. And in the instructions, you'll see what those pieces look like. Let's see. I think this, one of them looks like an A, kind of like an A with a little piece on the top, just like that. And then the other one is this little stand that the A will fit into. So these are the three pieces you'll need to locate to create our telescope. Okay. So now it's time to get the stickers out. So in your stickers, you'll see right here at the top are two blue stickers that look like telescopes. So we're going to take those out and stick those on the telescope part. All right. Now, just kind of match it up and put it on just like that. And it fits perfectly right on there. Yay. And then flip it over And we'll put the other side on. Ta-da! So one side and the other side. All right, so put that aside. Now we'll need our glue again, and we're going to glue the bottom of the base to the stand of the telescope. So just add some glue right in here. And then push this little piece right on to it, just like that. And that will dry so it can then stand up on our treehouse. Now to put the telescope into the stand, you see how it has this little notch? All you have to do is push the little rounded area of the telescope into that notch. So you can see it fits just like that. And you're able to move the telescope however you'd like, up or down. All right, so that's our telescope. Now, what was another item that was voted on?
The swing.
The swing. Okay, so the swing will need the piece that says tire swing on it, which looks like a donut. And then all you're going to do is find the stickers that look like tires and add those to the wood. Just stick them right on. It fits just perfect. And flip it over and we'll put the other one on. Just like that. All right, now we're going to have to use either our red or our blue string. So you'll need a pair of scissors for this. I'm going to use the blue string. And it says tie the tire swing to a branch with the string. Use scissors to trim off the excess. So what we need to do is make sure that the string isn't too long for the tire swing. So we don't want the tire swing to be too long, or else it'll just be lying on the ground. So I'm going to show you in our picture on our box actually. So there is a branch right here. It's on the right side of our tree, and it looks like the branch has been cut off. That's the branch that we're going to tie our tire swing onto. So first, I'm going to tie the string around the tire. And I'm just going to double knot it so it doesn't come undone. And then I'm going to kind of measure how far down. It looks like the size of my finger should be good, but then we'll need a little bit extra to tie it around. So you can use your own measuring in order to figure out how long you should get your string, but it should be about this long here. And then we're going to tie it onto our tree house. And now the tree house will have a fun little tire swing for our little friends our little woodland friends to swing on.
Very cute. Why don't we show our friends how they can play with the treehouse?
Yeah, we're gonna put our actual treehouse up on the platform. Okay. And let's get the front facing view again. And here's our little scene. So you can see there's plenty of room in here to add more stickers. You can add little rugs and little stickers that will go on the inside of the treehouse, like these. These are like posters that you can hang up. You can stick on the walls of your treehouse. So I've already created a little table, so you can put a table inside, just like that. I'll show you how cute the table is. And again, just like how we created the telescope, you can do the same thing to create your table and a little pizza, so your little friends can have pizza. And here's our telescope, so they can look at the stars. Oops. Just like that. And then when it's time, this, like I was telling you, your trays of chia, they fit right inside. So, I don't know if you can see, the chia will fit right in here, one in the back, just like that, and then one on the other side, just like that. So you'll have your chia once it's grown, and your little decorations, kind of like a little playhouse, but it's a tree playhouse. And our little animals who are so hungry for pizza, our owl and our froggy, are enjoying their pizza. Yum! Also, you're given a fun little ladder, so your friends can climb up the ladder into the treehouse. And you're also given all these different stickers. So like I was mentioning earlier, you can paint little flowers and different things on the base of your treehouse, or you can stick the stickers on for more interest on your treehouse. And there's butterflies, there's a guitar, the bicycle, there's actually window panes. So you can see all the different things, all these special little details to really make your treehouse your own. Do we have any other questions from our friends out there?
Not yet.
No? Okay. Well, this has been so much fun, and I'm going to continue to add to the treehouse. But I think we're, go ahead.
Did you put the glue on the roof before adding the sticker?
I did. I put the glue on the roof to hold the cardboard on. So the roof of our treehouse actually has wood on the underneath that we did glue on. So we glued the wood to the cardboard piece, and then we glued that whole thing onto the walls of our treehouse. That's a good question. We have any other questions out there?
Friends asking, how long does it take for the chia to grow?
Oh, the chia will grow in anywhere from 2 to 5 days. So it just depends on how warm and humid it is around your chia seeds. And the more humid, the quicker it will grow. So you want to just make sure that your chia mats stay nice and moist, and you'll see the little seeds start to sprout. And they might look a little bit like slimy, but that's part of the process. So don't wipe that off. Just let it do its thing, and then you'll see little green sprouts coming up. It's very fun. So it doesn't take too long. That's a good question too.
Yes. Well, thank you everyone so much for joining us. This has been so much fun and we love this kit. We're so glad so many of you had it and did it with us. Don't forget to share your creations. Ask an adult to share it on social media and hashtag creativity for kids. We're so grateful to have you here this Friday afternoon, and we hope you have a fantastic weekend.
Thank you. Bye, friends. We'll see you next time.